Today, a spectacular SpaceX rocket explosion marked a huge failure for the private space industry. It was also a setback for Facebook's latest project. Here's Vanita Nair.
You saw it before you heard it. The explosion ripped through the upper part of the Falcon 9 rocket before it collapsed in flames on the launch pad at Cape Canaveral. The rocket was being fueled at the time and was due to launch in 2 days. It had intended to carry a $200 million satellite for Facebook that would have provided internet access to large parts of Africa. There were no injuries. Cause still unknown. More soon, tweeted Elon Musk, the billionaire owner of SpaceX, who also helped create Tesla Motors.
And lift off of
Despite 25 successful launches from this site since 2010, SpaceX has suffered numerous setbacks. They have lost rockets trying to land them upright in the Atlantic Ocean. And in 2015, there was another explosion, this time after liftoff. Next month, SpaceX is expected to talk about a mission to Mars. But an explosion this size ensures more scrutiny of space travel funded by companies. SpaceX already has a backlog of more than $10 billion in launch orders. It's still unclear how badly their launch pad was damaged or, Maurice, what caused that blast.
Vanita Nair.
On Thursday, officials said they've trapped the first mosquitoes that have tested positive for the Zika virus in the Miami, Florida area. The discovery further confirmed recent reports of local transmission of the illness in the United States. The Florida Department of Health said this week that so far there have been 47 cases of the Zika virus and people believed to have contracted it in a small area of Miami. But until now, the department had not found infected mosquitoes. The health department added in a statement Friday it had tested over 40,000 mosquitoes in Florida since May, and that the 3 samples were the first to test positive.
The U.S. Space Agency has released an outstanding video of 3 storms captured from the cameras on board the International Space Station. NASA's footage shows 3 hurricanes churning in the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans. However, there's good news for people in the area because drier air and strong upper sky winds are weakening Hurricane Madeline as it approaches Hawaii. A second storm called Lester is still far from Hawaii, but weather forecasts say it is expected to weaken to a tropical storm as it passes. The third hurricane is named Gaston, which is making its way through the Atlantic Ocean. Astronomers have marked a rather risky close shave involving an asteroid the size of a blue whale whizzing between the Earth and the Moon. The sky watchers in Brazil had discovered the asteroid named 2016 QA2 the day before it zoomed by within 80,000 kilometers of Earth. In astronomical terms, the near miss has been interpreted as a hair's breadth. Even though the majority of objects near Earth pose little real threat to us, astronomers are closely monitoring a number of them which are potentially dangerous. An object the size of 2016 QA2 would only do significant damage locally and would not be enough to wipe out civilization.
Florida reported today that the Zika virus has been found in mosquitoes captured in traps in Miami Beach. This is the first time a pool of Zika-carrying mosquitoes has been discovered in the continental United States. 49 people have been infected in Florida by local mosquitoes.
There is no end in sight to the weeks-long tensions in Indian-controlled Kashmir, while the death toll keeps rising day by day. In a fresh spate of violence, student Danish Manzoor was killed and 6 others injured on Wednesday when Indian armed forces opened fire on protesters in the Baramulla district. The killing has sparked a new wave of public anger across the Himalayan region. The fresh killing comes days after New Delhi announced a major political initiative of sending a team of lawmakers to initiate a dialogue with all parties involved in the turmoil that is sweeping the Kashmir Valley. Rights activists, however, doubt India's seriousness and brand the move as yet another political stunt.
Actually, there has been a double speak, always in context of Kashmir, and that is why the issue is lingering and erupting off and on. This situation is being repeated now. They portray that they are going to have a dialogue with whom we are not clear, because they have not made it clear.
Fresh clashes erupted even after authorities lifted curfew in several parts of Kashmir Valley. But soon after the death of the teenager, clashes between armed forces and protesters intensified and thus forced the administration to reimpose curfews in parts of Srinagar and Baramulla.
On the one hand, India is killing us, and on the other, they are seeking our cooperation. How is it possible? We will cooperate only if they punish their forces who committed carnage here. We will cooperate if they withdraw their troops.
Meanwhile, pro-independence leaders in Kashmir are calling for a complete shutdown and have issued a fresh protest calendar which runs till September 8th. Since the killing of popular pro-freedom fighter Burhan Wani on July 8th, Kashmir has been gripped by deadly unrest amid calls for freedom from the Indian rule. Shahanabad, Press TV, Indian-controlled Kashmir.
We'll be here. So I can get it.
And moving into the street is completely underwater. That looks like it's in there.